You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today we're gonna be testing God of War Ragnarok on the GTX 1650 and the 1050 Ti. How are you guys doing? Welcome. So I tested this game yesterday on multiple GPUs and well, on 4GB cards there was an error message that didn't allow us to launch the game. I think it was just a matter of saying, hey, you have 4 gigs of VRAM, do you want to continue anyway? The game won't be stable. I think that would have been a good solution, but no, they refused to launch the game. So there's a mod. In less than 24 hours, we got a mod that bypasses that thing. So 1650 first, and we're going to try how it goes. Lowest possible settings, obviously, because it uses a lot of VRAM, actually. So it's just a matter of downloading this file and pasting the contents of this file on the games folder, basically. So we go to Steam, God of War Ragnarok, manage, browse local files, and then in downloads, this DXGI DLL, drag it over to the game's executable, and the game will think that you have 6 GB of VRAM, basically. Let's see if it works. Now you're on time. Yeah, Electric Pichu, you are. Welcome. And let me pair my controller again. Okay, the game now actually opens. Absolutely wonderful. Not connected, not connected. I love Xbox controllers sometimes. Okay, good news is the game actually opens. I'll probably need to lower the settings, otherwise it's probably going to crash. And it's compiling shaders. Okay. Why doesn't it allow me to? First of all, first things first. Let's put everything on the lowest. I don't want the game to crash. Okay, lowest settings. 1650, as you can see, it detects the card just fine. Let's use FSR 3.1 on. Let's use balanced first. Maybe with 1080p going overkill, but we're trying to not run out of VRAM because it can be a possibility, obviously. There's any way to reduce installed game size? Yeah, you can remove unnecessary languages, I think. Let me try that super quick. I don't remember languages here. No, I don't remember, but there's a way to make it smaller. So one sec, let me disconnect the controller super quick and reconnect, because I'm using this controller on multiple computers. There we go. And let it, after changing settings, my advice is to restart the game so the shader compilation works well. Yeah, SSDs are super cheap though. Hey Tomas, todo bien? I hate when Sony doesn't optimize the game and just ports it into PC. No, this is a good port so far. I'm sorry, but I gotta disagree on that one. Yeah, I have a save in Svartalfheim, don't worry. We're retesting the game today. I'm guessing today is God of War Day again. Okay. So while we wait, VRAM is at 92%, PSO is at 32%, which is the shader compilation. So let's wait it to compile shaders. 45 no FSR3. I mean, once we get into the demanding part, we'll see. It's probably going to be a lot of performance degradation due to the VRAM. And for some reason it's not detecting my controller. I think my controller is connected to my PC, my other PC. That's so stupid, man. No wonder it wasn't working. There we go. Duh. I still need to play God of War first on PC. The first God of War, yeah, same here. I haven't finished it yet. So I'm eating lots of spoilers today. But hey, what can you do? Suffering from success. The game skips frames, not a surprise. I mean, especially when it comes to VRAM limitation. It's compiling shaders, that's why I haven't started it yet. Let's try that again. That's the thing when you have one controller. There we go. Now we're talking. So PSO, shader compilation, 92%. Wish me luck. Buenos días, Totono24. FSR 3.1 looks better than XeSS. I think in this game XeSS doesn't look particularly amazing. Probably because I'm doing resolutions that are below 1080p usually. Okay, shader compilation is done. So I have saves in Svartalfheim, which should be chapter 2. This is way more demanding. And we also have save files in Kratos' house in Midgard. So we're going to first do Midgard, and then we're going to do that other part, just to have a first impression there on how it is in the well-performing part. This is really 90 FPS in, well, the Thor fight is not super demanding actually. Let's try that again. It's hilarious though. That's such a small piece of the map. That's something I found yesterday. The capture thing is lagging. Jesus Christ, man. Is it better now? Oh, it's lagging, yeah. What the hell? Thanks, guys. I freaking hate this capture card. It's still skipping frames. Hold up. I think I need to open the Elgato software. This Elgato This Elgato thing is annoying AF. Okay. Let's see it now. I think it's fine now. Yeah. Perfect. Apologies for that. Yeah. It's now fine. So here it says 80 FPS. Why does it say that? Well, that's because it's actually, this part is not demanding at all, and we're on balanced FSR 3.1. So it seems that the game is doing okay here. I'll push it to quality. Okay. Yeah, the VRAM usage seems to be fine so far. But again, this is a not demanding part of the game. I tested this yesterday, but if you go like 2 hours in...
That's most likely where he did the burying.
2 hours in, you get to a more demanding part, which I'm going to show you right now. No, you cannot use DLSS when a 16 series card.
Even for you. Nightmares?
I dream of the past. Almost every night.
Ah, the bad old days in Greece.
So again, this is the best case scenario of sorts.
Tell me something.
You don't mean to say you're talking to ghosts again, brother?
No.
But I think if we can get at least 30 FPS,
Use your words, brother.
The tracks stop here.
No, God of War 2018 in the in the first stage is way more demanding because it's a bigger map. This is clearly a very restricted map, so that's why it runs like this. We'll see once we get into the chapter 2, which I'm going to show you right now. I wanted to do... Again, Best case scenario goes first. There we go.
Reader, left flank.
But so far, in this first chapter, and low settings looks amazing still. It's stupidly nice on low settings. Alright, let's go to the demanding part. Wish me luck. This is the true test. It's fine.
They cap those geysers? I think we need to get that wheel moving, but the water doesn't reach.
So this is where I dropped frames when I was playing on the Steam Deck yesterday. And yeah, definitely not 80 FPS, but it's still very good. Yeah, the 1050 Ti, I think it will be doomed, but you never know. Oh, the game sound is too loud.
Those things are everywhere.
Is it better now? Is this the most early stream ever? Maybe. Framegen? Sure. Hopefully it doesn't destroy our VRAM. Let's add reflex and boost. How you run it with 4 gigs of VRAM? There's a mod. Okay, with Framegen you get much higher frame rate, but considering that the base frame rate is 40 something. And thank you so much again, Spencer Walker 21 for the 6.66 Doom dollar donation. He says, mothers to the rescue. Hell yeah, like always. It took them less than 24 hours. I mean, they were released 22 hours ago.
We froze one of those
I was
guys.
sleeping while this was happening.
Another one somewhere?
So yeah, mothers to the rescue. Gotta love PC. Probably if you play for longer periods, it might have issues, but it's a matter of restarting the game. So what was I doing? Goals. Yeah, also I see that the UI. Oh, the wheel. Gotcha. So I stopped that. Oh, okay. It needs more pressure. It needs more pressure. There he is. There it goes.
Moving and the gate coming down.
That's dwarven ingenuity for you.
Back to the boat.
Yeah, the 1060 is more powerful. Oh, okay. I need to be in that tall place, I think. Yeah. Oops. There we go. I was lazy.
If the dwarves of this realm are anything like Rock and Sindri,
Do I expect same performance as you have on a 2050? No, the 2050, believe it or not, is slower than a 1650. It's a joke of a GPU.
Odin offered them safety.
I mean, with Framegen, I can definitely feel the latency,
maybe they just need
but
a
it's
couple of
playable.
gods to come along and take the
Very
fight to 'em.
playable.
Atreus, that is
Despite
not
the
why we are here.
weird UI
War is not a joke. Especially
screen
when
tearing,
gods are
to say it in
concerned.
some way. The UI when you move the camera, sometimes the UI that is floating in the air has some minor screen tearing, but that's about it. But we're there, basically, on the VRAM limit.
Seems, Atreus, you intend to recruit Tyr as an ally for war.
I just
And we still, on low
I'm trying to
settings, we
keep
still
our
have
options open.
screen space reflections.
Let's just keep moving.
So
Glad
before
we're
trying anything else,
exploring a new
let me get
realm.
to another checkpoint.
Maybe we could just
But
try
this
to
map
enjoy
is
the
way
warmth.
more demanding than the first one. As you can see, on this one we were getting 40s, and at the beginning of the game we were getting like 80s. So let's disable frame gen. Frame gen works well. Better than I expected, really.
Looks like we gotta find a way to open that gate if we want to get.
But
to
as you can see,
Yerba.
our base frame rate is into the 40s. That's why it feels okay with frame gen. So yeah, there is simple lag, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, let's try other settings. This is better than anticipated, honestly. I was expecting so much worse, but it's using a lot of VRAM, obviously. So I'm going to put it on custom, textures on low. Models, let's keep that on medium, anisotropy filtering is fine like this, lighting on medium, shadows on low to help on the VRAM. Reflections on low still look fine, atmospherics. This is the volumetric lighting, let's put that on medium, ambient occlusion medium, tessellation medium. Yeah, I think medium is okay. So let's try medium settings, low shadows, low textures. And let's see if it crashes. Low shadows and textures. Why am I doing that? That's because those usually use more VRAM. So I'm trying to keep it safe. Although the game says that I'm using 120% of the VRAM, which is funny. Now, medium textures, I'm not going to do that. The game crashed yesterday when I changed the textures. So let me restart the game so we can recompile the shaders for the new stuff and flush that VRAM that we were using. But so far it's launching just fine and working just fine, even on those, even in that bigger chapter. So the mod, it's called, just look up Nexus Mods 4 GB VRAM God of War Ragnarok and you'll find it. It's just, you paste a DLL file and you're good. 1063 gigs will be funny, it's probably doable as well, we'll see. The game crashed with a message to download more VRAM. Can you use XeSS with Framegen? Yeah, Framegen is independent on this one from the upscalers. Yeah, 3 GB cards are sweating bullets right now. Soaked in sweat. Okay, so while those shaders compile, we got the base resolution is 1080, but internally 720p because we're using Quality FSR. We might increase the resolution later, we'll see. I'm using a mix of medium and low to say it in some way. I lowered the VRAM intensive stuff, which is textures and shadows, because the more you play the game, usually the more VRAM is utilizing so far. So yeah, I'm from Uruguay. Crazy, now you can download more VRAM. Can you get 60s in gameplay 1650? We're going to try in a moment. Just let me play a little bit longer and see if it crashes. But I think Quality FSR3 looks fine.
Brother, look. That strange bugger
But you
back
get these
into the ground
textures. They are not bad at all.
It's too fast.
Then how shall we catch it?
Flank it. Attack from behind.
Attack from behind. Atreus is a real Giga Chad.
Nista!
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, he's absolutely stupid. That's hilarious. Come on, pop your head out. Okay, just have to look away and he respawns.
You did it! Let's see what it drops.
.1050 Ti, yeah, coming after this. Let me first try the 60 FPS configuration thing.
Father, up there.
By the way, I'm playing on easy, so I don't have to pay a lot of attention to the game. That's why Atreus is telling me the solutions to the puzzles. Framegen, I already did it.
Halfway there. There's gotta be another chain to lower the rest of the gate.
Yeah, there is another chain, it's up there. I forget that Kratos can jump.
Look, there's a chain we can pull up there.
Yeah, I saw it, Atreus. Atreus, I already saw it.
It's clinging to the wall. We gotta knock it down.
Anyone know if the mod have any virus? I don't know, man. I'll keep the virus and play God of War. If you think it has a virus or something, just don't download it. You'll be good. I forgot to heal, by the way. Ooh, he dashed me. GG. There we go. Reduce 2 atoms.
Think you can uncover that geyser from here?
Oh. I don't even have to aim. Cool.
Oh, I think I get it.
Can I play native? We're going to try. Yeah, let's try native first, and then we do 60 FPS. Okay. I think native is a bit too much, actually. Yeah, it destroyed the VRAM. Yeah, I think native is a little bit too much to ask. Yeah. Yeah, native is a big ask for this GPU. I'll keep it like this. It goes much over the VRAM limit, we stay into the 30s. Just keep it like this. Yeah, it degraded performance because it failed the VRAM significantly. I tried it on the SD card on the Steam Deck and it works well.
Nice one. Can you see anything from that block?
So you don't need an SSD really, I think. If it works on an SD card. No blurry textures or crashes. So far no crashing, some blurry textures here and there, but so far so good. Just don't play on native resolution.
You should collect any others you find. Lad, if I may, what exactly are you hoping to learn from Tia?
Well, like I
But
said,
I'm seeing some
I was
performance
hoping you could tell me
degradation.
something about Loki. I'd also like to
He
hear
ran a
some of the
tiny bit
story.
better a moment ago.
Traveling to other lands, giant stuff.
Percy has a shiny bald
Maybe
head, no
about what
graphical
it was like to
glitches. Yeah,
fight
so
back in
far
the day.
so good.
Just for
Just
the
don't play on
history,
native
obviously.
because it just
Let's hope Tia's in a talkative mood
drops
after
to
being in
30
prison for
pretty
so
easily.
long.
Below
All of
30.
Odin's captives
Seems to
do
be
this
VRAM
charmingly
limitation.
for
We're
the
already
Odins
above the
myself.
VRAM thing.
We have no proof Tears
The game
should
says
be
we're at 150% VRAM, so we're relying on the RAM to
That
offload
earthquake,
that lack of VRAM.
Do you think there will be another one?
Yeah, the 1650
Unlikely.
Super will be
The
faster.
geological disturbances tend to be unpredictable.
10 to 15% maybe.
If the geysers and smell here.
1650 lives another day. For now, seems to be fine, yeah.
maybe
Just don't
the
play on
earthquakes
native.
are too.
Aye.
How's the low
Might be
texture
onto
quality
something,
compared to
lad.
the Last of Us PC? That's how tall a big ask.
Atreus.
The Last of Us had very blurry textures, but I haven't played it on low textures since
Now
release
this
date.
looks like a city.
Welcome to Nidavellir, brothers.
No, todavía no.
Hey,
Elfo, todavía no.
dwarves. Oh,
So technically,
They're,
Chapter 2 is way more demanding
away.
than the previous one. And makes a lot of sense. The map is way bigger, and there's more detail.
An alarm.
The CPU is in the
An alarm
description.
like that if I still had my body and was fearing the notion of being detached from it.
Yeah, the game should run on a hard drive. I played it on the Steam Deck on an SD card,
Most definitely an alarm, I'm afraid.
and it worked well.
why is everybody hiding?
Stay alert.
Why not use 6050 Super? Because I cannot have every card.
Hey, could we talk
Save.
to you for?
So this part seems to be more. Well, it seems no, it's more demanding than the prologue. The prologue you'll be between 50 and 80,
Statue of Odin?
but once you get to this area,
Really love him.
it has a big performance impact. And thanks again, Spencer Walker 21 for the other 6.69 nice donation. He says, I have an Alienware Alpha R2 running Windows, basically the successor to the Alienware Steam machine. i7 6700T, 4GB 960M, might test God of War Ragnarok. I mean, yeah, it has no reason not to launch if you have the mod. 3054 gigs, even faster than this.
What is
You can download a mod. It's basically a DLL file that you put in the games folder. No, just the spoofed 6GB DLL and you're good.
Then they'd have mouths.
Yeah, I mean, if it runs on PS4, I don't know why they cannot do that here, but who knows? I don't know how the pipeline works. So yeah, this city is fine, the prologue is fine. The thing is, when you are more out in the open in this map, let's get after this part a little bit ahead, hopefully more combat, and
Sensitivity to sonic vibrations has been
I can try and get 60s.
I've been meaning to try for quite some time now.
Yeah, it's running better than the original. I already did Framegen, it works. You can get 60s with Framegen, feels a little bit more input latency bound, but it's okay, it's playable. Does it stutter? So far so good. Sábelo, Harry. Se agradece. Kratos versus Thor. That's not demanding, but sure, I'll do it. Let me advance a little bit further. Boy.
Well, I certainly didn't expect you to disturb half the creepy crawlies immediately.
How was I supposed to know they were
Okay,
there?
as you can see, I get into combat like this and I drop into the 30s. Not a surprise. I mean, if it goes over the VRAM limit, it has performance degradation. Happens on many games. But again, it's still above 30. I only drop below 30 if I did native resolution.
Okay, so, Derlin,
Anyway, let me save. And super quickly. Oh, I overwritten the save. I'm an idiot. 223, 224. Sure. I think it should crash a few times to the last chapter. Well, the last chapter is something different. I mean, I get it, but it's a very small portion of the game. Yeah, when I look into this part in particular, it likes to drop. I want to just do more combat. Yeah, this is where it drops for me the most. So with a frame rate lock, it should be good.
Tyr was a friend to the Giants.
Okay,
wonder
let's
if
try
he and Mom
60s.
ever
Now
met.
that I know
If he was
where it drops the most for me at least.
part of the rebellion here.
Let's tweak it now.
It's certainly possible.
It's a beautiful game, I agree. So first of all, let's drop everything to low. Even the texture filtering. In this game it does make a difference. On medium and low it doesn't make much of a difference. It's one of the few games where anisotropic filtering really did make a difference. And instead of FSR 3.1 quality, we're using performance. And well, we're probably going to be VRAM limited. The VRAM is at 135% according to the game. If you look at it here, it's at 135%. So we're using performance FSR 3.1, everything on low, medium anisotropic filtering. Frame drops on Kratos versus Thor, yeah, but not so much, because it's a smaller map, so VRAM is not an issue in this part. It has a lot of effects, don't get me wrong, but it was a pretty big difference when it comes to performance. This part ran way worse for me. But we're doing the Thor fight once I can restart the game, because when you change settings on this one, it tends to recompile the shaders. So I recommend you restart when you do big changes in resolution, because it uses more VRAM. Is it using more normal RAM now? Yeah, when it runs out of VRAM, it's like the page file on Windows. It grabs system RAM and allocates it as VRAM, but it's way slower than actual VRAM. That's why it slows down. Okay, compiling shaders. By the way, this is low. FSR 3.1 performance. Can we 60 FPS? Let's find out. Okay, let's go. Is it really possible to complete the game at 1650? I don't know if you can complete it, but if it runs out of VRAM and it crashes, reload the game. I guess it should be okay at that point. Okay, here it's 60. Let's see. If I look to the left, it's probably going to drop pretty hard. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Still. Way smoother than 30. Let's see, I climb back here. And we look into the distance. So technically here we are looking, the game is rendering a chunk of the map into the distance.
It's certainly possible.
Technically.
The God of War often
That's why it
advocated
drops
for the
here.
Giants. Although I don't recall if he ever declared
And it also has some
outright.
effects on screen. But that's about it. Now the 30 FPS lock wouldn't lower the VRAM, but the game should be more stable. Instead of dropping 40 then 60, yeah, here, this part. So now we got combat plus the map being rendered in the background. Let's stress it out. Yeah, it runs very similar to quality FSR actually. Reduce to atoms. Dauntless shield. Okay. Oops. Okay. They die if they touch the water. Gotcha. Now, a 2 GB GPU, I mean, maybe it can work, but at that point I think we're stressing that a bit too much. Let's put some fire on screen. So 45 to 60, at least in the intensive part. If we're in Midgard, which is the start of the game is not demanding at all. That's why I have to retest everything today. But again, this is where it drops frames in a more aggressive manner. So let's go to the Thor fight now, as you guys requested. How do you make it work? You need a mod. It's very easy to get. Let me update the description to add that mod. It's just moving a DLL file to the game's main folder. One sec. Hold up. That wasn't the save I was looking for. I think it's here. No, so far it's been fine. When I moved the resolution, that's when it had issues. When I was changing the resolution in game. Yeah, Thor was ready to hit me in the face. Hold up. VRAM requirement bypass. So if you guys are wondering, this is the mod link. I'm putting it in the description right now, so you guys can follow it. So yeah, the modders saved the day again. I don't know if the entire game will be fine, but so far so good. So which settings am I using? 1080p with performance FSR 3.1. I'm targeting 60, that's why I'm doing this. You can get away with quality FSR just fine. Lower settings to keep the VRAM usage to a minimum. Although, if you look behind me here, the VRAM is at 112%. But that mod, the only thing that it does, it bypasses the check for VRAM. It makes the game think that you have a 6 GB GPU. So you just grab that mod, it's a DLL file, put it in the games folder, and you're good to go. And this is, as you can see, the Thor fight is not particularly demanding. Dude.
You insult me holding back like this.
So again, Midgard is not demanding. Just go to chapter 2 and you'll have like half the frame rate.
Now we're talking. That's all? You were finally showing.
I thought Chris Hemsworth is Thor. It is. This is just the alternative version. This is Chris Hemsworth after McDonald's. Oh, the animation seems to stop for like 1 second each time. I think it's my capture card. What? 1 sec. Let me reboot the capture card again. Or maybe it's just a screen tearing.
Now we got us a fight. Was hoping to see your blade. Guess they don't come when you call. How were you ever a god of war?
Okay, paying attention actually works now.
Stop holding back!
Who's spamming? Too bad, please stop spamming. Did you get a black screen? I don't know, man. Sorry.
You're fucking hopeless! You
Maybe there's something else that is missing. Maybe you don't have enough system RAM. That could be an option. Looks good, native FPS 654 gig. Yeah, but this is the prologue. After the prologue, it drops into the 40s, which is fine. It's completely fine. I'm not even using frame generation.
If you're not fighting dirty, you're not fighting, right?
Bonk.
You should be better than this!
Bonk.
Your son struck first! Good!
I keep forgetting that I can block. Yeah, Thor needs to go back to McDonald's. I mean, look at what Thor can do with McDonald's.
You think you can come here, become a daddy? Get
Where's
a
Iron Man?
cornflake? That ain't how it works. You're
He's
a
probably dead.
destroyer, like me.
Yeah, the beginning is not an accurate description on what the game, how the game runs.
Oh no. I say when we're done. I'm not
But somebody asked
leaving
for the
till
Thor
I
fight.
see the
Here it
real
is.
you. Get up!
I'll fight a tiny bit longer. Tell you which settings I'll use. And show you again what runs, what part runs bad in comparison. And by bad I mean 40 something FPS. So considering this is below the minimum requirements and using a mod to bypass an error message, I think this is pretty damn good. I don't know if you keep playing for a long period if it's going to crash, but if that happens, just restart the game.
They hurt his feelings.
Ooh, wrong button. Oh, come on, I was just in that range. Leave my home! No, no lo conozco en persona, Mateo. Does it affect the health of the GPU? Nah, it's fine. Okay, this is... yeah, it's fine.
You put him last.
This is what usually drop my frames before.
You say? Modi sought out in fear of you. He died of the wounds you gave him.
Yeah, I did FSR3 Quality already, but I'll tell you what settings I'll use. But the Midgard part of the game is fine. It's the prologue basically, it runs okay. The thing is, when you get to chapter 2, it starts being more demanding. So, what settings would I use? Well, first of all, if you look at the VRAM gauge, it's over 100% basically across the board. That's okay, whatever. That's why we have a mod. The settings I would use: models on medium, anisotropic on high, lighting on medium, shadows on low, reflections on medium, atmospherics on medium, ambient occlusion on medium, tessellation on medium. So medium settings with low textures and shadows to minimize the VRAM usage, basically. In the prologue, you'll get basically 60 FPS, 40 to 60, I think. And after that, in the bigger map, you get 30 to 45, I think. And that should do. Quality FSR 3.1, don't go native resolution, uses too much VRAM. The game is more prone to crashing. So far, I didn't get any crashes. So yeah, one sec, low shadows and textures. So now we gotta restart the game. So make sure to put it like this: quality FSR 3.1, internally 720, quit the game and restart the game. Can you try and replicate a crash? It's pretty easy. Just go to Ultra Performance FSR, play for 5 minutes, then put it on native resolution and boom. It'll hard lock to 5 FPS. It happened even on a 4090. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to cause a VRAM crash in this game. Just play with the settings a bit and the resolution while the game is running, and it's super easy to make it crash. Okay, it still hasn't crashed on a 3GB GPU. That's awesome. What font you using there? Your graphic designer? Want to know? It's kind of good. Sure. This is Calibri. Calibri Bold is one of the basic ones. So 720, quality FSR 3.1, I mean 1080 with quality FSR 3.1. In the menu already the VRAM is basically maxed out. medium settings, low textures, low shadows. Shaders are compiled. Let's go back to the Thor thing very quickly, just to show you that it's okay. That section of the game is not demanding. I knew you will make this video. Yeah, here I am. And as you can see, the Thor fight, it's so easy to do. It's clearly a very compressed map. It's just a small arena, so it kind of makes sense that it runs like this in this part. Which again, I don't think is a good reference. This is why I show you two parts.
No way my boys fell to this.
So yeah, the beginning of the game is fine. But once you get to chapter 2, that you get out of Midgard, that's when it starts having a more difficult time. So yeah, it's an empty space. But once you get outside, well, if you look into the distance, it's a hard drop to 39 when looking in certain angles. I mean, in this way more open map, if I'm looking at the end of the map, it's 60 FPS, but if I look at the part where the map actually has things happening, it drops like this. If you put it on performance FSR, it's basically the same. You jump to 45. So I rather keep it on a higher resolution, on quality, with medium settings, low textures and low shadows. But I'll probably just lock it to maybe 40, if you have a monitor that is 120 Hz. Or if you don't mind 30 FPS, you can also do that. Or you can be like me, basically my whole life, unlock frame rates and whatever.
Although I don't recall if he ever declared allegiance
This is probably a more demanding area, but I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, there is a limited amount of time to test everything. But this part is way more demanding than the start of the game. That's why I'm showing it off. Probably the end of the game is way more demanding than this. But I don't know, I haven't gotten there yet. But I think this is a good way to... a good reference at the moment. I thought the game crashed. No, it was just a tutorial. But so far so good. No problems as of yet. Again, this is one of the larger maps. And by larger I mean bigger than the start of the game. No, Kratos, no!
Get up, brother.
So yeah, the game is region locked for you. I don't know, that's your... that's up to your... how you see that type of thing. Up to you, man. I'm not going to discuss ethics of piracy. I just don't condone piracy. But you can do whatever you want. I mean, just remember that Sony doesn't even allow you to purchase the game. That's all I'm going to say. That type of thing, yeah. I mean, technically the pirated version is superior because it doesn't require a PlayStation account or any other thing, technically. How is Framegen? Framegen is fine. It uses more VRAM, so I guess it will be less stable in the long run. But I think just to close up this part of the video, I'm going to use Framegen. But if you drop to 30 FPS, I wouldn't use Framegen. So let's try Framegen. And with Framegen you get basically double the frame rate. But you get input lag. Input lag, but not in a way that you're watching a live stream and playing with bad internet. It feels okay. Considering this Framegen, it's pretty good. So if you don't mind using Framegen, it's an option as well. But remember that in some parts you're going to be basically using Framegen with 35 FPS when looking into the distance. So it can feel pretty choppy sometimes. Yeah, I feel the latency when in those parts where it drops. Also, Crazy's Shadow have some artifacting with Framegen. But that's about it. I mean, it looks smooth, but you can feel the input lag when it drops to 30.
Okay, there's gotta be some way to turn the wheel
Yeah,
up.
the screen tearing obviously is there because I have unlocked frame rates.
Whoa there! Give a man some warning if he's about to suddenly end up snout deep in cheek.
Yeah, everyone's on a hard
Is
drive.
that an earthquake?
An occasional but not unheard of happenstance in Svartalfheim.
Yeah, if you
With
look
all the
there,
mining
yeah,
here, the
I don't know. It's not consistent enough. I think it's even, you get even worse tearing with this, with Framegen. Because it's pretty, again, it's inconsistent, the game itself, when it comes to
Bound to be a wee bit
these
bothered.
sections. Because you're looking
Think you
here
can
and you
reach
get
the wheel from
35 FPS, then suddenly you look the other way and it's 40s or 60s sometimes even. So Framegen doesn't work great when the game has such a variable frame rate. Yeah, an NVMe is an SSD. So anyway, so that's what I would do. I would use those settings. Let's swap GPUs. Let's do the 1050 Ti. Before doing that though, let me put it on low. Yeah, the VRAM is at 145%. Just look at this. But the game so far hasn't crashed. So we'll see if we can do longer play sessions. But I'm getting this ready for the other card. Okay. I'm guessing the other card will need a lower base resolution.
Wow. Nice
But as you
job
can see,
getting
even
us
if I
to
lower the
exactly where
settings,
we need
it's
it.
still into the 30s while looking into the distance. Yeah, we downloaded more VRAM. Why do you look depressed? I'm just tired. I'm not depressed. I mean, yesterday I streamed this game for 5 hours. I did the Steam Deck, the 3050, the 3060, the 4060, this card, the 4090. I've been streaming yesterday like 5 hours. I slept like 6 hours or less. So I'm not depressed, I'm just tired. Let's go. All right. Let's make it catch fire. Fingers crossed. Hell yeah. I'm crossing my fingers, my legs, and everything that can be crossed. Yeah, only 2 fans. It's completely fine. It's like a test bench. Okay. The 1650 is faster than the 1050 Ti. So this will be 1080p low, FSR 3.1 quality. And let's see what happens. Let's see what's gonna happen then. On the ROG Ally, not yet. We're ready. We're ready. Here it comes. Okay, I have everything. Yes, launch. Yeah, live testing. We gotta find out together. Is PCN account actually required? I mean, when I launched it on PC, it asked me. It didn't even ask me if I wanted to log in. I did it just so the Steam Deck actually launched, because on the Steam Deck it was asking me to link my account, but on my PC it wasn't. Okay, so we're at the lowest settings. 1080p with quality FSR, that is internally 720p. This is how it goes. We're also compiling shaders right now. The VRAM on the menu is already at 100%, so no surprises there. So let's let it compile shaders. 40 FPS in the main menu. Don't worry, we're rendering a real-time scene, so it's not a bad thing. It's just compiling shaders. Let it do its thing. Yeah, it will be interesting if it can reach 30s like this. Actually. We're about to find out, I guess. $750 later for the memes? No, I'm good. I think I can let it die. Let's talk about shaders compiling. Everything's going fine. I've been streaming 5 hours yesterday. It's been a fun experience. It's weird to speak so much, because when I'm streaming, I'm speaking the entire way through. So it's been strange, because again, yesterday technically I spoke for 5 hours. It feels weird. In other benchmarks, you saw 1050 running at 30. Yeah, makes sense. It could be. The thing that, I mean, in the first part of the game, the prologue, it's probably fine. The thing is, when we get to chapter 2, that is a more open map, that's when it drops the most for me. Will it work on 3050-66 laptop? Yeah, you don't even need a mod for that one. Gracias, Elfo. No me lo regalaron los de Sony. No, guys, I didn't get a code from Sony on this one, but that's fine. I mean, usually when they send codes over, when Sony sends a code, they send it like a day after the game releases for me. I don't know why. So I usually buy the game, play over 2 hours to do live streams, and then I get a code. Usually I give them away when that happens. Alright, compiling shaders, almost there. When you speak for 3 hours, you're already dead. You're completely mute to recover. Dude, too real. Yeah, I mean, in The Last of Us, it takes like 2 hours to compile shaders, at least before patches. 99%, 100, there we go. Okay. So let's do Thor first, just to have an idea on what's happening. I mean, this is the easy one. This part should have no problems running. Yeah, this part is okay. Thor is easy.
Now we're talking.
But again, these are small arenas, so this is not a good reference. So at least in the smaller locations, it's alright. So again, bad reference. This part shouldn't be used for benchmarking. I wish I knew that yesterday. So this is the start of the game, basically. The start of the game is fine. So now it's time to go to Svartalfheim. So this is the part that should make the GPU cry and the VRAM cry. Okay. So when I'm looking this way is fine, but as soon as I turn to the left, it should destroy the frame rate. Let's see, 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go. This is the difficult part for the GPU. Looking into a distance. So let's lower the resolution and see if that helps. Let's see, balanced. Performance. Okay, in performance FSR we jump into 28 instead of 24. But I think in this case we can do something else. And that something else is 900p as a base instead of 1080p as a base. So we're going to keep it like this, but with 900p instead. So we're going to close the game. And in order to change resolution, since this game is borderless full screen only, we gotta go to the desktop, select 900p in the desktop itself, and then launch the game, and the game will launch in 900p. Basically, it's borderless full screen. That's a neat trick I learned from Unreal Engine games. Yeah, I expected far worse as well. Turning on Framegen, if we get 30s maybe, but I think Framegen at such a low frame rate is a waste of time. You get even more screen tearing. Alright, so now instead of 720 we have 592p upscaled to 900p on low settings. This should give us a little bit more room to spare. So let's continue in the same section. Let's see. Is this before? No, this is a custom engine from the developers of this game. Let's see, we turn the camera. Okay, almost there. We're basically there, yeah, lock it to 30. I think we got this. Back in the PS3 era, I mean, usually now pixel counts don't mean as much as before, in my opinion. I don't know.
I wonder if he and Mom ever met.
This looks pretty good.
If he was a part of the rebellion here.
It looks soft, yeah, but we're playing on a 1050 Ti, guys. This card released like 10 years ago. It has no business running like this. Let's be honest here. Yeah, I think we actually have to lower it a little bit further. Maybe 720 as a base instead of 900p. Although it's been looking into a distance and effects at the same time. Yeah, I think we can actually fix that by just going balanced FSR. Or not. But the thing is, when you're looking again in this section into the distance is when it drops. I think we could fix this with a 720p base for sure. But if you don't mind some drops in the 20s here and there when looking into a distance, it should be good. I mean, just go here, turn around, make it drop to 28 and start putting effects on screen, and there you go. So I think a base of 720 would make more sense, actually. So we close the game and try that again. Now, Framegen won't fix it. Guys, Framegen is not magic. You don't want Framegen at 20 FPS. Come on, guys. That's just freaking stupid. Come on. You already have input lag. It will look a bit smoother, but when you turn the camera and the frame rate duplicates, the Framegen is going to make it look even more inconsistent. It makes no sense to use Framegen in this case. More input lag and it will look more inconsistent due to the fast changes in frame rate. I mean, you can do it if you want to, but it's not good. We tried this already on the other card. I mean, it's physics. You're creating a frame in between each frame, so 2 frames need to be generated. You create one in the middle. There's going to be latency. It's physics. Yeah, the Steam Deck struggles in this area. We're going to try the Steam Deck after this. Alright, here we go. Yep. That fixed it. So lock it to 30 and play it like this, in my opinion. No need to go higher than this. If it runs well, looking into the distance here, it should be fine. Again, this is the worst I could find, but I played like 4 or 5 hours of the game already. When you look into less demanding parts, you're going to jump into the 50s. And at the prologue, you're going to get 6 FPS because the prologue is not demanding. No worries, man. Yeah, I mean, not always seeing a higher FPS number means better. That's what I usually try to explain. But I also blame marketing for that because Nvidia says, oh yeah, look at how well this runs with DLSS. And in the small letters it says, this DLSS performance with frame generation. And I'm like, dude. So I understand. As a marketing strategy, it's brilliant. Now PS4 has 8 gigabytes of system RAM. The VRAM is shared, it's basically taken from the system RAM. It's a shared pool of 8 gigabytes. So I don't know how they did it, but optimization in a specific hardware, that's usually the benefit. I mean, Framegen works well if you're at least at 60 FPS. You still get the input lag, don't get me wrong, but it's less noticeable. And if you're playing at 100 FPS and use Framegen, well, that's another story. But you always get some input lag. You almost fell asleep with Jensen Huang's interview. I didn't even know he did one. Oh, that way. Move out of tray. Boy! Get out of the way, boy!
There's gotta be some way to turn the wheel up here.
Performance better than I anticipated, honestly. I'm going to play a bit longer to see if it crashes due to VRAM.
Well there. Give a man some warning if he's about
So
to
far, so
suddenly
good.
end up snout deep in cheek.
We was talking more about the AI. Yeah, Nvidia now is more focused on AI. That's where the money is.
Unheard of happenstance in Svartalfheim. With all the mining here, the land's bound to be a wee bit bothered.
I was thinking, because it's so warm, maybe it's not that the cold hasn't made it here yet, but maybe it's just
So yeah,
different
Nvidia is
in
more of an
Svartalfheim.
AI company
Aye,
now.
lad. Thimble winter doesn't
Again, I get
split
it.
all realms quite the same
If I
way.
was Nvidia, I would do the same
Weird
thing.
that
Everybody's
Thimble
talking about the
winter
AI now.
doesn't always make it
It's a new buzzword.
winter.
In Midgard it does, but as you can see,
What's the
effects here
resolution?
appear
The
far
resolution
more
is pretty low.
gaseous in nature.
But again,
Observe
this
the
is
Geiger,
just to
observe the
make
aforementioned
sure that
coma.
30 FPS
These effects were
is
present
happening
before in some
across the
form,
board.
But now there's new extremity to them.
Because as you can see, as soon as I got out of the part that allows us to look into the distance, the frame rate improved quite significantly. That's not a surprise. Water, die! I can just push them into the water. Into the water! Okay, not this time. Again, as I'm always saying, when I test this card and it works in a new game, this card on PC you have no business running a 10-year-old a new game on a 10-year-old card, and what I mean by that is that's not expected behavior. Usually on PC, if you have a 5-year-old card back then, it was basically okay. The game doesn't even run. Nowadays, it's way more forgiving. Again, this is almost a decade-old card at this point. You don't need to go higher than this. I mean, it would be nice, but why bother?
Did they cap those dodgers?
Why are you not using the axe? I don't know, I like beating them. It makes me feel like a badass. I like being disrespectful. Oops.
Okay, we froze one of those geysers. Is there another one somewhere? Dad, the wheel's moving and the gate's coming down.
That's dwarven ingenuity for you.
This is played on 1080, no, 720 with FSR quality to avoid drops when looking into the distance. If you're fine with some drops below 30 in this section, then you can do 1080p quality.
Quite dangerous.
But I'm just compensating for the parts where it can drop into the 20s.
That is not why we are here.
I was only joking.
War is not a joke, especially where gods are concerned.
Yeah, who needs an axe? I mean, if I was jacked like Kratos, I would use my fists all the time.
As an ally for war.
I'm trying to keep our options open. Let's just keep moving.
1080p ultra for the memes. Yeah, give me 1 sec. I want to get past
Maybe
this
we can
part
just try
very
to enjoy the
quickly,
warmth.
and we'll do that.
Looks like we gotta find a way to open that gate if we want to get to Nidavellir.
Brother, look! That strange bugger popped back out of the ground again.
Yeah, I'm noticing some muddy textures, but again, we're on the VRAM limit, above the VRAM limit actually.
Halfway there. There's gotta be another chain to lower the rest of the gate.
Sorry, we're below the VRAM limit actually.
It's clinging to the wall! We gotta knock it down!
Hey sir, get down here, thank you. Let's put fire on screen as well. Reduce 2 atoms. Can you try Framegen? I already did it, so we got the results. Don't worry. Trust me on that one. I'm just trying to see if the game crashes by playing a small extra amount of time.
Oh, I think I get it. If you freeze the geyser, the pressure will turn
Yeah,
the wheel.
Atreus, I know.
Look, there's a chain we can pull up there.
Whee! Oops, I screwed up. How am I forgetting everything today? Oh yeah, I remember now. Never mind. I was playing like a journalist. Ah, it goes up so quickly now. Get some sleep after this. I have a lot to do today at work. I will get sleep today, don't worry. At some point. There we
Nice
go.
one. Can you see anything from that block?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing like a journalist. I was like, oh no, I do not understand this. This game is too difficult. Doesn't have enough inclusion. What are we going to do? Gaming instead? Journalist gaming. Yay, we did level 1 on
What
easy.
exactly are you hoping to learn from Tia?
Well, like I said, I was hoping he could tell me something about Loki. I'd also like to hear some of his stories.
Would you say graphics are better than the last God of War? Yeah, there is definitely an improvement.
Maybe about what it
The
was like to
resolution that
fight
I'm
back
using
in
is
the day.
lower than God of War 2018, I
Just for the
think. I don't
history,
remember
obviously.
exactly.
History.
But the game in general
I saw
looks
Tia's
better,
in
yeah.
a talkative mood after being imprisoned
Also, it
for
has
so
more
long.
variation over the original. The original has some repeated bosses.
Voluble as myself.
This one seems like, I mean,
An
if God of War
earthquake
2018 is God of War
Think there'll
1,
be
this is
another
God of War 2 and
It's
3.
unlikely, but geological
together,
disturbances tend
basically.
to be unpredictable.
If the
Are you using a capture
geysers
card? Yes,
and
sir.
smell here are worse because of Fimbulwinter, maybe the earthquakes are too?
Aye, you might be onto something, lad.
Why do the 1080p and 720 low gets the same FPS? Because we are VRAM
Now
limited.
this looks like a city.
When VRAM limited,
Welcome to
usually
me,
there's
brothers.
weird behavior like that. There's just like a big performance hit. That's why when looking into the distance, we get such
They're,
a big
running
hit to
away.
performance. And just because you guys requested it, I'm going to use Framegen. Because why not? If I get so many requests. And here we're not dropping into the 30s because we're not looking at the entire map, so this is like an outlier.
Was fearing the notion of being detached from it.
Wow, that for
But there
us.
you go.
They are
While it
scared.
might look smooth, it doesn't respond particularly amazing at such a low
Why
base
is
frame
everybody
rate.
hiding?
Stay
So
alert.
higher number, not better, but whatever. I'm not going to try to convince anyone no more. Is there input lag? Yeah, of course. It's not so bad when it comes to input lag. It's better than in other games.
Hey, could we talk to you for a...
But yeah, you can
There'll be
notice
no help,
the
to be sure.
the input
Best you find
latency.
the tavern sindering
But again, the
alone.
base frame rate here is like 30s. Some parts it gets into the 40s. This part happens to run better. Sorry guys, I lost connection for a second. I'm back. Gotta love when that happens. Yeah, stream died for a moment. Now it's back. Okay, so this is the part that it drops into the 30s. Yeah, the input lag here is noticeable. It's not so bad. It's better than other games. It's okay. The thing is when you're looking into this part that the real frame rate looking at this section in particular is 30. So there's more input lag, but if I look here that the base frame rate is 60 because I'm looking at nothing, it responds right away. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, if you never played the game, this is your first time playing the game, you can get adjusted to that timing. But I see even more screen tearing due to the inconsistency. Again, I'm looking at a place, it's 60 as a base, so FrameGen is fine. But then you look somewhere else
and
and
Mom ever met.
Framegen will
he
duplicate the
was
frame
part of
rate
the
from 30 FPS as a base,
certainly
so
possible.
you get input
The
lag
God of
looking
War
at this
often
place,
advocated for the
but
giants.
here it's
Although I
better
don't
because the base
recall
frame
if
rate
he
is
ever
higher.
declared allegiance
So
outright.
the inconsistency is more noticeable, basically. So yeah, while it's manageable, it feels inconsistent due to the fact that it's a wild frame rate fluctuation. So here it feels good, I look there, and the control input latency is insane. So yeah, I think that's it. And now, as you can see now, why do we drop to 26 now? Well, that's a very simple answer. Since I enable Framegen and that uses more VRAM, when you turn it off, I mean it occupies more VRAM, of course, but when you turn it off, it's doing something else in the background. So the VRAM use increases. So how do you fix this now? Restart the game. If this happens, restart the game. We're at 119% VRAM usage, basically. So, good luck. And no, FSR balance doesn't make a difference here. So just restart the game, you'll be fine. This is when it goes way above the VRAM target, and we change resolutions and all that. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did playing God of War again. I'm going to do a Steam Deck video after this instead of a live stream. So I have it here. I moved the game to my micro SD card, so you can see that it runs on an SD card as well, because that's pretty surprising. And also I have a stress test, so the Steam Deck is not actually 40 FPS, it's more like 30 in this section. So I wouldn't call it a memory leak. The previous game had the same thing. It's just a matter of restarting. But when you're changing settings, the VRAM usage can vary quite a bit. So usually when I change settings, I recommend restarting games. In this case, it's more of an obvious thing. But again, in this case, we're above the VRAM limit all the time. We have 4 gigs of VRAM. The game, when it launches in other cards, is like at 5 gigs. So we're already limited by VRAM. That's why you gotta restart the game in these cases. We're below the VRAM limit. But how would I have handled this if I was the developer? How would I have handled this? Well, first of all, we have a mod now that allows you to go past this, but if you go and install the mod, it launches right away. But the developers implemented, let me remove this. So when you actually launch the game without the mod, this will happen on a 4 GB card. You get this saying, hey man, you don't have enough VRAM. F you cannot play the game. As you can see, on 4 gigs it works. Maybe they did this to cover their ass, saying, oh, if the game crashes on 4 GB, it's not our problem. The easy way to fix this, apart from using a mod, for the developers would be to add an extra button that says launch anyway, and using like quotes, I understand that the game may not work optimally with this amount of VRAM. You press that button and the game goes through. Just do that. That's the best solution. That's as simple as it should have been. But no, we needed someone to make a bypass. So the game actually runs anyway. That should have been the solution. That's basically it. Just tell the player when it's launching the game, hey, you have very low VRAM. Are you sure you want to continue? The game might not perform optimally. Continue anyway. That's it. That's how you should do it. It was a simple solution. They just needed to add a button. They would have gotten great PR out of that. But no, they had to do it the hard way. They had to wait for modders to add an option to bypass it. It's hilarious. So yeah, Would I recommend this game on the 1050 Ti? If you don't mind those hard drops into 30, maybe lock it to 30 and enjoy it. And on the 1650 I would actually recommend it, but sometimes you need to probably restart the game to be able to actually avoid hard FPS drops. So maybe, I don't know, you're getting to a big level, another chapter, you might run out of VRAM, get a hard drop in performance, restart the game, grab that save. The game save is very often, has a lot of checkpoints, so I don't think it's a big limitation. So just go and download this mod. The link is in the description. Download this one. You can download whichever. You can even tell the game that you have a 4090, which is hilarious. Doesn't matter which GPU you have, just download this one if you have a 4GB card. Paste this will be a DLL file. A DLL file, you just drag it into the games folder. If you cannot find it, go to Manage, Properties, Browse Local Files, and paste this file that you will download in the modding section, and the game will launch right away. Just put everything on low on this card, and on the 1650 you can rewind and see what happens. So now it's time to rest. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Yesterday we did a huge live stream on God of War, actually. And by huge, I mean, I never expected that much people watching. I mean, yesterday I've been doing how many streams? I did 3 streams yesterday. I did this one that got 110k views. That's insane. So thank you guys so much for that. So 110k views. That's absolutely insanity. Thank you so much for that. Then the Steam Deck video also got 23k, and the 4090 video got more than I anticipated. So thanks again for that. I appreciate it. It helps the channel keep going. So if you're interested in what I'm doing, I'm very close to 180,000 subscribers. So if you like what I do and want to see more, please consider subscribing. We are very close to 180k, so I appreciate that a lot. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video if you liked it. If you disliked the video, please like it anyway. And if you like my content, please subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys. Thanks for watching. Love you all. You guys are the best. See ya guys. Thank you.